after the Northwestern State game, it's kind of been Nixon all the way.
Yeah, but I mean, he should have decided before the season even started that this was my guy. You know? Now, I can understand everything's going. Whereas now, if you're Urban Meyer, you can kind of get away with it because you got like 3 great quarterbacks. But yeah, we can have this discussion next week. I say the UL Monroe game is a must-win for UL Lafayette, though.
Yeah, well, I really can't tell you nothing about that game, so I won't be there. So
I'll be there. I'll be dressing up as a monk. That's my Halloween costume this year, a monk. It looks pretty intense, I'm not gonna lie. It looks awesome. Okay, now we're gonna do our top 4 teams. Mike, who's in your final 4?
Well, I'm not gonna do this yet because we've got to make a pick.
Oh yeah, that's true. We have James Madison versus Richmond.
People.
Who you got? My bad. It ain't on my prompter.
Well, I haven't really paid much attention to either one of these teams, I'll be honest. If I'm watching any team in the FCS, it's the teams from the SWAC. I don't know why I seem to go towards SWAC at all. I have no idea whatsoever. Or it's a team like McNeese or Southeastern. Or actually, it's a team like South Dakota pulling off the upset on North Dakota last week that I watched and I was blown away because I think it was 26 straight home games North Dakota State had won, and South Dakota State didn't beat them since 1980-something, if I'm not mistaken. And I watched that upset and I was like, wow. But that's getting a little off topic. James Madison, from what I heard, has been having a really good year this year. But I'm going to go with the Richmond Spiders, just so I can say I'm going to pick the upset, and just so I can give myself props if they do prop the upset against James Madison. I think James Madison will probably win this game, no doubt about it, but I'm going with Richmond.
Well, you know what? I have to give the James Madison some level in this show, right? You're going with Richmond. I'm going to go against you. I'm going to go with James Madison. Just so I can say I got the game right. That's kind of what's going on here. I mean, again, both these teams have actually been having pretty good years so far, so College Game Day is going over there. I think that's the only reason why we're picking this. Am I correct, Mike?
Yep.
Yeah, I think James Madison ought to do a good job this year and win this game. So, give me James Madison to win. Now, we get down to the Final 4. Mike, who you got into your Final 4?
Well, I got to go with the Ohio State University. Got to go with Utah. Got to go with Baylor. And, I guess if I had to go off now, I have to go to LSU. If I said on the now, go to LSU.
All right. Let's see here. My Final 4, as it sits, I got Utah in there, Baylor, Ohio State, even though they didn't play anybody, which could possibly hurt them, but I think they're undefeated enough.
Hey, man, it can't trust me. As long as they go undefeated, they're staying in there, because 2 straight years undefeated, you cannot put a team not in there.
And I'll go with LSU because they play in the SEC and they're undefeated so far. Now, here's an interesting question. We got Clemson. If Clemson stays undefeated, should they get in this thing?
Not over a team like LSU, no. Not over a team like Utah, because actually the Pac-12 is actually a whole lot better than they were past couple of years. And if Utah stays undefeated, then Utah should definitely be in there. Ohio State, like I said, if they don't lose a game, I don't see how you cannot put them in there.
The only way I say Ohio State would get bucked if the committee would find their schedule to be too weak. Which the only, I say...
You can't. I don't see how, in nobody's right mind, if Ohio State stays undefeated for 2 straight years, how can you not put them in the thing? It'd just be plain ridiculous to not have lost a game in 2 straight years. If you would not put them in there, I'd say the system would be crooked, because to go undefeated for 2 straight years is a very hard thing to do. And I'm not saying the Big Ten's weak this year, but I mean, look at it. They got teams like Michigan State, Iowa, Nebraska.
I say the only other team.
Illinois is sneaking in there.
I say the only other team that would actually maybe get knocked out of this would possibly be Baylor.
I don't, because Baylor, if they stay undefeated, I don't see how. I mean, they're a really good.
Because Clemson's got to play Florida State. They still have to play each other. If Baylor knocks off, well, I think Baylor's going to get in. I think if they would finish it up, but we're going to play devil's advocate a little bit here. If Clemson is able to knock off Florida State and they beat them really bad, okay, let's just say they go into, let's say if they play each other, Clemson beats Florida State like 40 points, which I don't think is going to happen. But let's say that does happen. We're introducing scenarios. And you got Baylor, who's barely squeezed by all these games. Would you put Clemson in over Baylor?
But yeah, if all of that perfect formula went together, then yeah. But I don't think that's going to all happen at once. I said, I don't see Baylor not being in there if they go undefeated. I do not at all.
Okay. Well, we got the same Final Four as it sits right now, but I think the only other team I'll possibly include in this Final Four is Clemson. But we still got a lot of football left to play. It's a whole another month, basically, of football in the regular season to figure out what's going to happen. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see. All right, well, Mike, I think that'll be all for our show today.
Yep.
Anything you want to say before we close out?
Yeah, Southern Professional Hockey League comes back tonight.
Yes, this is... Woo! Ice Gators.
Yeah, I love watching hockey now. I'm actually starting to find myself more of a hockey fan. Not less of a college football fan, just a lot of a hockey fan now more often. They got a bunch of good games, unranked team games happening this week. I plan on watching since I don't have to go to work and I'm not going to any games this weekend. I'll be watching some of these games. I said that's about it. I mean, I said hockey. Yeah. Can't wait. Ice Gators next Thursday.
Yep.
Woo.
Be there or be square. I got really nothing to say at all. Like us on Facebook, really. Follow us on Twitter at Fishbowl Nation. Follow me on Twitter at Logan Fusilier. You can follow Mike on Twitter. What's your Twitter handle again, Mike?
Snap. AB Hidalgo 14, I think. I don't get much on Twitter, so if you want to follow me, hey, I'll look it up. If I say I get enough followers from this, then I'll start doing it more, but I'm not really that big into it.
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at Chief Fishbowl, and I think Mike's the_main_honcho14.
Correctamundo.
Yes, I'm getting good at this.
I'm also extremely interactive on, but I do post stuff, and when I do, they are awesome.
Yes. Next Saturday is Halloween, which I'm going to be going to the UL Lafayette homecoming game against UL Monroe, which will be very interesting because I'm going to be dressed up in a monk outfit, so that's going to be a sight to see. And I plan on wearing the jersey over the little robe thing, so like the UL Lafayette jersey. We're bringing a whiteboard like we usually do, and Mike, I'm gonna need your sign for that week. I'm gonna need your sign. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I gotta give you the sign. Unfortunately, I gotta give you the sign so you can get all the glory for it, even though it wasn't your sign. But I will let you do it, and I will let you take the glory for it.
Well,
but yeah, Chief's gonna have my sign. So if the game's on ESPN and you'll see Chief with a sign, then that's Mike Concho's sign that he made with his bare hands and he thought of. But Chief is gonna be representing it out there, so y'all watch out for Chief.
I just hope that one of the UL Monroe players don't rip it up. I'll probably cry because I'll be like, oh my god. That would be something. This is a rivalry game for UL Lafayette, so it's going to be probably the best game of the year. Usually the one we look most forward to in the schedule. But, I say we close it off. Y'all have a great, wonderful weekend. Y'all go have some fun. It's Friday today. It's Friday. We got to get down on Friday. So, yeah. Talk to y'all later, Fishbowl Nation. Have a great and wonderful weekend.